Our first two-part episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? The Tale of Cutter's Treasure. This is part 1. Next episode will be part 2. Something I think they should have done more. Because now with 44 minutes to tell a story, they're really able to expand upon absolutely everything, especially the characters. And while this episode, part 1, really sets up the story for part 2, that's where you get all the swashbuckling and argy-mateys, the ghost pirates chasing these kids. Something I don't comment on much in Are You Afraid of the Dark is the characterizations. Usually the characters are okay, but they're not super developed. But here they actually are. But before we get there, we have a very interesting introduction. The Midnight Society meets in this clearing around the campfire, and they start just introducing the cast again. Like this is the first episode. Maybe they were thinking when they released this on VHS, they'll release this as one movie, because I was a little confused. They introduce each of the characters and tell you what type of stories they tell.
Have tales of the macabre and grotesque, or heroes searching for the truth.
You even get the Pantene Pro V turn of the head. Betty Ann likes the tales of the macabre. And so, since this is a two-parter, we're going to get two storytellers. The first one's going to be Gary, talking about magic again. And the second one that gets more into action is going to be Frank. So Gary throws the dust on the campfire and begins to tell this story. We get an intriguing opening, but this is pretty much the only pirate parts you're going to get in this episode. This and right at the end. So there's a very nice pirate by the name of Ian Keegan, and it's implied that he's going to visit his old captain, Jonas Cutter, who's a very evil pirate, and well, he's going to give him a little stabbaroo. But as he goes into this underground crypt and sees his captain from the back, they recreate the scene in Psycho, where he turns around the chair and sees that his captain is actually already a skeleton, so someone's already got to him before Ian Keegan can. You see, this Captain Cutter has become a ghost, and it begins laughing at him. And it's implied that the ghost of Captain Cutter kills Ian Keegan, but not before he's able to put a curse on him. Flash forward. Obviously, we're going to 1994. And a boy named Tony and his Max are playing with these plastic swords, and off in the distance, Tony's older brother Rush, well, he's romancing a lady. Rush only looks about 2 years older than Max, but I think he's supposed to be around 14. He's definitely gone through puberty and is interested in the chicks, and man, he is going to spend this entire episode trying to get some kisses. They don't usually show that much kissing in Are You Afraid of the Dark, except for this episode. They show a ton. They're moving into slightly more mature themes, since you see the dichotomy of Max, the younger kid who just wants to play fantasy outside, and Rush, who's over that stuff. He's about the babes now. But of course, in classic Are You Afraid of the Dark fashion, Max has to mess this up. But Rush is able to get a few kisses in before Max starts spraying the sprinkler on him and the girl runs away. And of course he starts chasing him around the yard, trying to give him an old beat down. You see, Max and Rush's parents are going to go on a little weekend vacation on Saturday and Sunday, and they've left them with an old lady who's going to be their babysitter for the weekend. But Max and Rush are quite clever. They realize they don't need anyone taking care of them. I mean, Rush is old and mature. He's gotten to at least first base. And so they take the check that their parents gave them and give it to the old lady and say that they're both sick. They hand this through a mail slot in the door and they pretend that they have the chicken pox. So the old lady takes the check and she goes away. And now Matt and Rush are there by themselves for the weekend, which honestly is every kid's dream. Didn't you love it when your parents left? They never understood this. They're like, I knew you were going to miss me. It's like, I won't miss you at all. This is going to rule. I'm going to eat popcorn in my pajamas watching Batman. Now we're going to get Mr. Sardo and Vink in this episode. The main character of Cutter's Treasure Part 1 is Sardo. Let me make sure I say his name right. Sardo! He gets very angry when people don't say it right.
Mr. Sardo! Sardo! Accent on the dough.
And his magic mansion that we've seen a few times during the series. Sardo's begun to grow on me. I was aware him and Mr. Vink, Dr. Vink, were going to become recurring characters, and you sort of just have to get used to them. But at least Sardo fits the aesthetic of Are You Afraid of the Dark by being this goofy, over-the-top magician who doesn't seem like he's very good at anything. In fact, he has this treasure chest that was given to him and will award anyone a prize who's able to open it. Well, Mr. Ladies Man, Rush, walks over to that treasure chest and he just opens it with ease. And Sardo is extremely impressed. Sardo is played by Richard Dumont. And we saw him in Season 1, Episode 6, Tale of Super Specs. That was his introduction. Dark Dragon, Carved Stone, We'll also see him in seasons 5, 6, and 7. Dr. Vink, on the other hand, this is going to be the last time we're going to see him. Well, in part 2. We'll see him in part 2. And while I don't think Sardo ever saves an episode, he's not a good enough character that if an episode's bad, like in the Land of the Nod episode, which I thought was kind of boring, this is a good episode, and so his presence is welcome here and fits. This is also the first time that I caught on that he's actually supposed to be a bad magician. I just thought he was goofy and incompetent, but this really shows that he's not really good at anything. So he's just there for comic relief. And so when Rush opens this treasure box, he's allowed to keep whatever is inside. And what is inside is a rusted old key, an old dagger, and a spyglass. A spyglass that doesn't work, for now. And Sardo is going to get $5,000 from this mystery person because this box was opened. So really it seems like at this point Sardo's coming out on the better end of this bargain. Since the parents are away for vacation for the weekend, Rush invites his girl Sandy over to his house to do what else? To make out. They were making out outside a few days ago, but they were interrupted by the sprinkler. And he tells Max not to disrupt him this time. So they begin kissing, and Max starts playing with his spyglass, and he actually does see something inside of it. He's saying that it's working, and it seems like he's summoned some evil pirate ghost entity as a bony hand reaches out and grabs his leg from beneath his bed, and Max of course goes screaming and interrupts Rush again from getting some smooches with Sandy. We get a cool dream sequence with Rush, and you can tell it's a dream because look at this amazing filter they put over it. He's walking in this foggy cemetery and goes up to a mausoleum, and he sees the ghost of Ian Keegan. It looks like at the beginning of this episode Ian Keegan was actually killed by Cutter's ghost. They left it up in the air, but figure that's what happened. But we still don't know why this ghost of Ian Keegan is contacting Rush at this point. And I do think the characterizations of these boys is very good. You see a real distinct difference between Max and Rush, yet both of them seem like normal kids. They're not trying to do the thing where they have the evil younger brother and the nice older brother, or the bad boy older brother and the twerpy younger brother. Max acts more or less the way 10-year-old boys do act like, and Rush, even though he looks 12, acts similar to how most 14-year-old boys would act. So they're not doing the good cop, bad cop dynamic. I think it's much better when they just portray normal characters as the protagonists, because it makes you really want to root for them. We now get to see the appearance of Captain Cutter himself. This time he's not a ghost. He's appearing as a real-life person. It seems like something was summoned when Rush opened up this treasure chest at Sardo's magic shop. Once again, Sardo screwing the kids over again without even realizing it. And it just ends on a cliffhanger. Captain Cutter grabs the kids, we see the appearance of another pirate, and it cuts back to the clearing where it begins to rain. So they're going to have to continue this story on another day. We're also going to have to continue this story on another day on part 2 of the tale of Cutter's treasure. So what do I get part 1? I really enjoyed this episode. I'm going to say 7 out of 10. The characters feel realistic, and while it seems like not a lot happens, they actually are putting a lot of story into this one. The second part's going to feature more action, but this one's setting the stage for Sardo, characters of Max and Rush, and we finally get to see Captain Cutter himself. Could it have used a little more pirate stuff? Of course. We already have 3 pirates. Captain Cutter, the evil one, Ian Keegan, the good one, we think, and this pirate, Mr. Noise, who's restraining the boys right now. This one was also filmed on 35mm film, whereas they usually just record it on videotape, because it was much cheaper to do it that way. But none of this has been up-resed enough for it to really make much of a difference. DJ McHale said that this was the only time they filmed on 35mm. However, as we learned in my reviews of Twilight Zone, when you film on 35mm, it's much easier to up-res it for DVD or Blu-ray quality. That's why something like the Twilight Zone looks so crisp. It's because they take the film and they're able to digitalize it. Whereas if you use videotape, you unfortunately get results like Are You Afraid of the Dark? Or, God forbid, Tales from the Dark Side. Now, with AI, eventually they're going to be able to upscale all this stuff, which is going to be exciting. Like if they take a Tales from the Dark Side, or even Tales from the Crypt, which was filmed in the 90s and still looks pretty bad, and actually put it into 4K, that's going to be amazing. But that hasn't happened yet. But it does show that some of these cost-saving measures that they did back in the 80s and 90s came to bite them in the butt when HD started taking over, because they were able to make 35mm HD movies and TV shows look absolutely amazing, but film, still can't quite do it until the robots help us. Next up is The Tale of Cutter's Treasure Part 2, where we actually get, to the pirate part. And check out our playlist for the other series that we've covered. We've done Monsters, Fear Itself, Tales from the Dark Side, every single episode. We're working on Black Mirror, Mystery Science Theater, Twilight Zone, and Are You Afraid of the Dark? Memberships are open. Thanks.